So, you just started playing Umamusume Pretty Derby, and now you're staring at the gacha screen wondering which horse girl is actually worth all your re-rolling efforts. I get it. Every single Umamusume looks like a top-tier idol straight out of an anime dream. But let's be real here. Some of these girls absolutely dominate the racetrack, while others, well, let's just say they're more about style than substance. That's where this video comes in. We've got your back with a full character tier list to help you decide who's worth training and who might just be better cheering from the sidelines. In today's video, we're breaking down the best of the best, those top-tier Umamusume that can carry you through the toughest races and bring home those sweet, sweet victories. Whether you're aiming for PvP dominance or just want a smooth ride through the story, knowing which girls shine brightest can make all the difference. So buckle up, because we're diving straight into the world of speed, stamina, and sparkly finish lines. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking characters in Umamusume Pretty Derby. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching! The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Haru Urara, Majiro Ryan, Winning Ticket, and Agnes Tachyon. Alright, so you've probably met these D-tier characters in Umamusume Pretty Derby and thought, wait, are they even trying? Well, don't be too quick to judge. These horses may not be winning the Triple Crown anytime soon, but they've got their quirks. And hey, sometimes that's just as entertaining. Let's dive into the lovable underdogs of the turf and dirt tracks. First up is Haru Urara. Now, Haru Urara is like that one friend who absolutely shines when you go hiking, but completely fails at indoor rock climbing. She's amazing on dirt tracks and truly excels in sprint races, where speed is king. If you love a late attack strategy, Haru is your gal. She can surprise you when the finish line is in sight. But heads up, she is terrible on turf tracks and basically unusable for anything beyond short sprints. So if your race involves medium or long distances, better to give Haru a break and let her enjoy some dirt. Next in line is Majiro Ryan. She's a classic turf lover, rocking medium-length races with finesse. Majiro Ryan plays well with pace and late strategies, making her a reliable pick when you want consistency. However, she has a rather tragic flaw. Her base stamina is so low, it makes long-distance racing a nightmare for her. Also, she's not a fan of dirt tracks and really struggles with sprint races. If you're thinking about long marathons or short bursts of speed, Majiro Ryan might just politely decline your invitation. Then we have Winning Ticket. The name sounds promising, right? And on turf races, Winning Ticket does deliver some solid performances, especially at medium distances with a strong late attack. But, and this is a big but, dirt tracks and shorter races? Yeah, she's pretty much useless there. It's like inviting someone to a pool party who is terrified of water. So, if your race course is anything other than turf and medium distance, you might want to keep Winning Ticket in the stable for now. Last but not least is Agnes Tachyon, who's like the tactical genius of this group. She's amazing on turf tracks and shines in medium-length races with multiple strategy options, giving you the flexibility to experiment. Unfortunately, just like our dirt-fearing friends, Agnes is very bad on dirt tracks and poor at sprint and mile races. Think of her as that brilliant chess player who suddenly forgets the rules when asked to play checkers. So, what's the takeaway here? If your race is on turf and you're aiming for medium distances with some strategic spice, Majiro Ryan, Winning Ticket, and Agnes Tachyon can actually be decent choices. But dirt track lovers, well, you're mostly stuck with Haru Urara, who's your go-to for sprinting on that gritty surface. Just don't expect a Cinderella story in longer races or turf sprints. Honestly, these characters may not be your star players, but they bring personality and niche strengths that can surprise you if you use them right. Plus, who doesn't love rooting for the underdog? Sometimes it's not about winning every race, but about having fun and shaking things up a bit on the track. So give these D tiers a chance. They might just grow on you. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Nice Nature, Sakura Bakushin-o, Matakane Fukukitaru, King Halo, and Super Creek. Alright, now let's step up a notch and talk about the C-tier characters in Umamusume Pretty Derby. These guys aren't quite the shining stars of the track, but they're definitely more than just fillers. Think of them as your dependable squad. Sometimes a little quirky, sometimes a bit limited, but overall ready to bring some solid action to your races. Let's unpack what makes each of these horses tick. Starting off with Nice Nature. This one is like that reliable friend who loves the great outdoors and can go the distance without breaking a sweat. She is very good on turf tracks and excellent at medium and long distance races, which means you can count on her stamina and versatility. Plus, she offers several strategy options so you can experiment with pacing or late attacks. The catch? Dirt tracks and sprints are her kryptonite. So, if you're running a quick dash on dirt, she's probably not your best bet. Next up is the speedy little firecracker Sakura Bakushin O. This horse loves to flash across turf tracks at sprint distances and really shines when the race is short and explosive. She's got a bunch of solid strategy options to keep things interesting too. But don't get too excited if you're planning medium or long races. Her stamina is extremely low, and dirt tracks are a no-go zone. Basically, Sakura is the sprinter who runs out of juice quickly and hates getting her hooves dirty. Now meet Matakani Fukukitaru, the turf enthusiast with a strong preference for medium and long-range races. She's great for turf courses and brings several strategy options to the table, giving you flexibility during those longer battles. She's not your girl for sprints though, and dirt tracks just aren't her scene. If you want to go the distance on turf with a bit of tactical depth, Matakani Fukukitaru is worth a shot. Then there's King Halo, a character with a regal name and solid turf performance. King Halo does well in all races except long-distance ones and is especially good at late and pace strategies. You can count on him for versatility. But again, dirt tracks and long races are his weak spots. If you want a horse who can adapt to different race styles on turf without the marathon challenge, King Halo is a solid pick. Last but not least, we have Super Creek, the long-distance specialist with a heart of gold. He performs well on turf tracks and is very good for long races, making him your go-to for those endurance battles. He also offers several strategy options, which helps keep races interesting. The downside? His base speed and power are very low, so don't expect fireworks in sprints or short races. Plus, dirt tracks remain a no-fly zone for him. So, looking at this C-tier crew, turf tracks are clearly their kingdom. Almost all of them struggle big time on dirt, which means if your race is on the gritty stuff, you might want to look elsewhere. They shine more in medium to long-distance turf races, where stamina and strategic play matter more than just raw speed. Sprint lovers should definitely give Sakura Bakushin O a try, but keep in mind her stamina limits her to only the shortest races. For anything longer, you'd be better off with Nice Nature or Matakani Fukukitaru, who can carry the torch well over medium and long distances. And King Halo? He's like the all-rounder you bring when you want a bit of everything, without specializing in the super long haul. His strength in pacing and late strategies makes him reliable for varied turf conditions. Super Creek might be slow out of the gate and a bit weak in power, but if you're looking to dominate those marathon turf races with some tactical depth, he's your guy, even if he's not winning any style points for flashy speed. All in all, the C-tier horses are a mixed bag of talents and limitations, but if you know their strengths and pick the right races for them, they can definitely surprise you. They remind us that even if you're not the fastest or the flashiest, steady and strategic can still get you across that finish line. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Tokai Teo, Daiwa Scarlet, Air Groove, Grass Wonder, Gold Ship, and Vodka. Let's talk about the B-tier characters in Umamusume Pretty Derby, the dependable middleweights who aren't quite top-tier stars, but definitely bring some serious game to the turf. These horses have solid stats and specific strengths, making them great picks if you want a balanced approach without too many surprises. Ready to meet the reliable crew? Let's go! First, we have Tokai Teo, a real all-rounder with very good stats across the board. She shines on turf and excels particularly in medium-distance races. If you're planning a race that's not too short and not too long, Tokai Teo is a solid choice. That said, she's not a fan of dirt tracks and honestly, pretty bad at short races. So if you're looking for a quick burst, she's not your horse. Next is Daiwa Scarlet, a real crowd pleaser on turf and fantastic in medium-distance races. She also does well with front and pace strategies, so if you like to lead the pack or keep steady pressure, she's got you covered. Her downside? Dirt races are a no-go, and her base stats are a bit on the low side compared to some others, meaning she might struggle if you're facing tougher competition. Moving on, Air Groove is another turf lover with good base stats all around. She's perfect for medium-distance races, which makes her pretty versatile if you want to keep your options open. Unfortunately, dirt tracks are very poor territory for her, and she doesn't really shine in sprint or long races. So if your race is short or a marathon, better consider other horses. Grass Wonder brings some interesting contradictions to the table. She's good at mile-length races and excellent on turf tracks, plus she offers several strategy options. But her low base stamina and guts can hold her back, making her a bit unpredictable. Think of her as the wild card. You might get a great performance or a disappointing fade depending on the day. Then there's Goldship, a fan favorite who is very good on turf and excellent at long-distance races. She also offers multiple strategy options, making her a flexible pick for those endurance battles. The catch? She's not built for shorter races and dirt tracks, so she's really your go-to for those long turf runs. If you want to dominate the long haul, Goldship is worth your time. Last on the list is Vodka, who's amazing at medium-length races and performs well with pace and late strategies. She has several strategy options, giving you some room to play around. However, like many others, she's bad on dirt and very bad at sprint and long-distance races. So Vodka is your solid middle-distance specialist with some tactical depth. Just don't expect her to keep up in the extremes. Looking at this B-tier crew, one thing's clear. Turf tracks are where they truly shine. If you're running on dirt, it's better to look elsewhere. They're mostly geared toward medium to long-distance races, with some exceptions like Grass Wonder, who prefers the mile length. Sprint races tend to be a weak spot across the board, with Tokai Teo and Air Groove both struggling at short distances. Long-distance races, meanwhile, are a specialty for Goldship and a no-go for Vodka. Strategy-wise, these horses bring a nice variety. From front-running Daiwa Scarlet to pace-focused Vodka and the flexible Goldship, you have some tactical toys to play with. That makes races a bit more interesting and gives you room to adapt depending on your opponent. Overall, the B-tier characters are the dependable workhorses of your stable. No flash, but reliable and versatile enough to keep you competitive. If you master their strengths and avoid their weaknesses, you can carve out some solid wins with them. So, if you want to play it smart and steady on turf, especially in medium-distance races, this lineup is a great choice. They might not always steal the spotlight, but they get the job done, and sometimes that's exactly what you need. The characters in this tier are in order from top left to bottom right. Silent Suzuka, Maruzensky, El Condor Pasa, Majiro McQueen, Special Week, TM Opera O, and Mayano Top Gun. Alright, now we're diving into the A-tier characters of Umamusume Pretty Derby. These horses are the real deal when it comes to performance, bringing strong stats, versatility, and some serious presence on the track. If you want to up your game and start dominating more races, these beauties deserve your attention. Let's break down what makes each one special, and where they might trip up. First on the list is Silent Suzuka. She's basically a speed demon, with excellent speed stats that make her perfect for medium-length races. She's fantastic early on when you use a front strategy, charging ahead like a bullet. But here's the catch. She's very bad on dirt tracks and tends to fade as the race drags on. So if you're looking for a horse that can keep pace all the way to the finish, she might leave you hanging in longer battles. Next, meet Maruzensky, a turf specialist who's solid across all distances, which is pretty rare. She's super strong early with a front strategy, letting you set the pace and control the race. However, her stamina is very low, making long-distance races a challenge. So if you want to stay competitive but avoid those exhausting marathons, Maruzensky is a great pick. Then there's El Condor Pasa, a rare breed who's great on both turf and dirt tracks. This versatility makes him stand out from most others in this tier. He's excellent at mile and medium races and comes with several strategy options, letting you tailor your race approach. The downside? His base stamina is low and sprint races aren't really his thing, so keep him for the middle distances where he can shine. Majiro McQueen is the endurance king here, boasting amazing stamina and guts that make her meta for long races. She maintains a great pace throughout, which is crucial when you're battling it out over distance. But beware, she's very bad at short races and suffers from low base speed and power, so she's not the flashiest sprinter. If it's a long grind you want to win, she's your horse. Next up is Special Week, who's very good on turf and amazing for long-distance races. She offers several strategy options and has solid all-around stats, which makes her a reliable and flexible pick. Unfortunately, sprint races and dirt tracks are not her friends. But if you want a dependable long-distance turf competitor, Special Week is a strong choice. Then we have TM Opera O, a turf specialist with multiple strategy options and excellent performance in long-distance races. Like others in this tier, sprint races and dirt tracks are her weak points. She's a great option for those marathon races where tactics and stamina really matter. Mayano Top Gun is another turf-focused horse who shines in longer races and is great with all strategies, giving you lots of ways to approach a race. However, his base speed and power are very low, and he's abysmal for short races. So, don't expect quick bursts, but if you're in it for the long haul, Mayano Top Gun can hold his own. Looking at this A-tier lineup, one thing's clear: turf tracks are the place to be. Most of these horses struggle on dirt, so if your race course is gritty and rough, you might want to rethink your picks. But if you're on turf, especially in medium to long distance races, these horses will bring serious firepower. Sprint races remain a tricky territory for many here, with horses like Majiro McQueen, TM Opera O, and Mayano Top Gun really showing their weaknesses. The sweet spot tends to be medium or long distances where stamina, pacing, and strategy come into play. Speaking of strategy, this tier offers a lot of options. Front strategy is strong for Silent Suzuka and Maruzensky, letting you control the race early on. Others like El Condor Pasa and Special Week bring flexibility, so you can mix it up with pace or late attacks depending on the opponent. Overall, the A-tier horses are your power players when it comes to turf racing. They have strong stats, solid stamina, mostly, and enough strategic depth to keep races interesting. Just remember to avoid dirt tracks and short sprints unless you want to watch them struggle. If you master their strengths and race smartly, these A-tier characters will have you crossing finish lines with style and maybe even grabbing that champion's crown every once in a while. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Oguri Cap, Taiki Shuttle, Symboli Rudolph, and Rice Shower. Alright, now we're at the cream of the crop, the S-tier characters in Umamusume Pretty Derby. These horses are the true heavy hitters, bringing a mix of versatility, power, and strategic depth that can carry you through a variety of races. If you want to race like a pro and leave your opponents eating dust, these are your go-to picks. Let's jump in and see what makes each of these legends tick. First off, Oguri Cap is a rare gem who's great both on turf and dirt tracks, which already sets him apart from most others. He's amazing for medium-distance races and comes packed with several solid strategy options, so you can tailor your race plan to almost any situation. The downside? His sprint race grade is bad, so don't expect him to dominate in those lightning-fast short bursts. Plus, his base stamina is very low, meaning you'll need to be smart about managing his energy. Next up, Taiki Shuttle shares a lot of similarities with Oguri Cap. He's great on both turf and dirt, excellent for medium-distance races, and especially strong at holding pace, making him a reliable presence in the pack. Like Oguri Cap, he struggles in short races and has very low base stamina, so stamina management is key if you want to keep him competitive through the finish. Then there's Symboli Rudolph, who boasts all-around good stats and excels on turf tracks. She's fantastic for medium and long races and offers several good strategy options, giving you the flexibility to experiment with front, pace, or late attack styles. However, she's not great at short races and is very bad on dirt, so keep her on the turf and avoid those sprints if you want her to perform her best. Finally, Rice Shower is the endurance powerhouse of the group, with amazing stamina and guts that make her meta for both long and medium races. She's excellent on turf and particularly strong with pace strategy, so she knows how to maintain a steady rhythm and outlast opponents. The flip side, she's very bad for shorter races and performs poorly on dirt tracks, so she's definitely built for those marathon turf battles. So what's the overall picture here? The S-tier horses bring exceptional skills, mostly focused on turf and medium to long distance races. Oguri Cap and Taiki Shuttle break the mold a bit with their dual turf and dirt capabilities, which is a huge advantage if you want flexibility. Sprint races are still a no-go zone for most of them, so if you love the short and explosive, you might want to look elsewhere. Stamina is a common concern. Both Oguri Cap and Taiki Shuttle have very low base stamina, so strategic energy management will be crucial. On the other hand, Symboli Rudolph and Rice Shower bring a balanced mix of stamina, power and tactics that make them perfect for sustained efforts on turf, especially in longer races where pacing and guts really matter. In short, these S-tier stars offer a potent combination of versatility and strength that can seriously elevate your race strategy. If you want to play it smart and competitive, these characters will reward you with top-tier performances. Just keep their weaknesses in mind, and you'll be crossing finish lines like a champion. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.